How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today I bring you a crazy video from Fox News featuring Martha MacCallum, the anchor, attempting to conduct an interview with a Black Lives Matter so-called leader. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video today is because you gotta see where I'm coming from and feel how I feel when I'm talking to crazy leftists on my call-in show, and also occasionally in my everyday walking life. And this video may encapsulate how you feel when I'm trying to talk to crazy lefties in your life, whether it be friend, family, coworker, or whatever. Now, before I go any further, let's go ahead and roll it together. I'll let it play, and then I'll just jump in at certain points and give you my 2 cents. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll the clip.
The president really should consider very carefully declaring Black Lives Matter a domestic terrorist organization. They were basically engaged in stealing. So this is an illegal organization, and their intent is to overthrow our government.
Joining me now, Hawk Newsome, president and co-founder of Black Lives Matter of Greater New York, which is its own individual organization. Hawk Newsome, thank you for being here.
Let's pause for a moment. So that's his own individual organization, not the same thing as a BLM, I guess corporate or the main headquarters. So this guy, Hawk, can't speak for BLM specifically, but at the same time he can. Pretty weird, but let's keep going.
Tonight, first of all, let's start with your reaction to what the former mayor of New York City had to say last night.
Well, it's funny that, you phrase it, the former mayor of New York City. And the reason why it's funny is because nobody liked Rudy Giuliani as a mayor.
Well, let's pause for a moment. I mean, he was the former mayor of New York, so that's just a matter of fact. It's not a thing to give him any kind of undue praise. And a lot of people did like Giuliani. A lot of people miss Giuliani, especially right now with what's going on with de Blasio. You go to New York City right now, even the lefties hate de Blasio. This is not even the left versus right thing. Without Giuliani, you'd be looking like Mad Max right now in 2020. But let's continue.
There were actually high T-shirt sales of T-shirts that said F Giuliani on them. No one liked Giuliani. 9/11 happened, and he handled it with class, and he became a national figure. But what has Mayor Giuliani done since 9/11 except run his mouth? How is Rudolph Giuliani benefited America? This man's children don't even like him. He is nothing but a blowhard who runs his mouth.
See, you know what? and Martha is smart. She's like, okay, you just want to attack Giuliani and get into his character. That's fine. But I'm asking you a question about what he said about Black Lives Matter. How did we go from talking about BLM being a terrorist organization to you talking about T-shirt sales and 9/11? It's like, man, I need you to stay on topic.
Mouth.
Yeah, I don't, there were plenty, to be fair.
When you talk about him, because he's trying to define peaceful, most of the time, peaceful protesters as terrorists. If he really wanted to talk about terrorism, he would talk about the KKK, who's responsible for bloodshed over hundreds of years.
Okay, now, about the Klan. Have you seen the Klan recently at all? Oh, I'm sorry, we have seen the Klan. They're called Antifa, and also Black Lives Matter. The Klan with a tan, that's them right there. That's the reality of the situation. Okay, the Klan wasn't always going out there killing people every day. They weren't doing that much killing. Honestly, they only killed, like 3,500 people by lynching in 100 years, which is like 35 people per year. I'm not saying that's nothing, but it's nothing compared to what happens every single day in a community. You get 10 people shot, 20 people shot in the hood is no real big issue. So let's just put things in proper perspective.
I want to have a conversation
churches
about
with
this.
Little girls inside.
Understood. That was terrorism, and I hear what you're saying. I also want to point out, I don't want to get personal about Rudy Giuliani and his family. It doesn't really get us anywhere, I don't think, in this conversation. But there were a lot of people who thought that he was a very good mayor, and especially, as you point out, after 9/11. So we let everybody have their own opinions about that, be that as it may.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's talking about mothers and fathers who are out there protesting. He's talking about black people and white people who are out there fighting for the rights of every human being, for equity. equity, for human rights, and he's calling us terrorists. But I've never seen him
I think
take
he was
a hard
talking
stand
about
against
people
white
who loot
supremacists.
and people who ruin the businesses of people who built them
That's
for
right.
years and years. And I just want to play one soundbite because
so when
he
America
talked about
goes and
stealing.
steals diamonds and oils, who's calling us terrorists? When the American government goes and pillages different
understand
groups,
that you have.
who's calling us terrorists?
Okay, but you're saying, are you saying that if that's okay, it's okay to steal and loot because of those other things that have happened, which are also bad? And I want to play this. This is Ariel Atkins, Black Lives Matter Chicago, talking about looting. And I want you to tell me what you think about what she says.
I don't care if somebody decides to loot a Gucci.
I remember this one. I did a video about this one. This was crazy.
Or a Macy's or a Nike, because that makes sure that that person eats. That makes sure that that person has clothes. That's reparations. That is reparations.
Reparations.
Do you agree with Ariel Atkins on that?
Well, let's so we're moving on past Rudy Giuliani. And
Yes, we are, sir. Moving past that, we're beyond that. I need you to answer the question, sir. Stop trying to backtrack. Just answer the question as it's asked.
we're moving into looting and a form of reparation. But let's be very careful, Martha. Let's be very careful, and I'd appreciate if you let me speak. Let's be very careful. The problem with oppression and white supremacy is white supremacy will have you criticizing the oppressed and worshiping the oppressors. Now, if you
So what's it got to do with looting? If you burn a church down, like they did in Kenosha, Wisconsin, just the other day, yesterday, whenever that was, what does it got to do with being oppressed? I mean, is a church building oppressing you? Is a car dealership, a used car lot oppressing you? What's really going on here, sir? Can we get to the actual, the meat and potatoes of the conversation and stop trying to dance around the topic? Stop trying to avoid the question?
If you want to talk to me about reparations, nothing falls short of a solution other than people cutting a check. If you want to do something about reparations, cut the check. And we're not talking about going in everyday Americans' pockets. We're talking about banks like Brown Brothers and Harriman, who benefited from slavery, other insurance companies that sold
so you want to see
insurance
reparations
policies
come from
on slaves.
corporations.
We're talking
I asked you a
about the
question, though, but in
American
fairness,
government that was founded on the backs of slaves.
I listened to you, and now I want you to answer my question.
Us reparations.
Listen to me, sir.
That's
I
what
asked you a
reparations
question.
is.
You know what? I'm gonna pause it right there. This whole, the sir and all that. That's how I be feeling all the time. You guys know if you watch my live show, that's pretty much where I'm at. It's like, sir, I need you to pipe down, sir. That's pretty much where I'm at. So I feel her 100%. And this guy's just totally not listening, talking about, oh, I gotta speak. You were speaking the whole time, not letting Martha MacCallum get the questions out and conduct the interview. You pretty much just trying to push your own narrative about BLM rather than allowing the questions to get asked and then you answer them appropriately.
You want to know what reparations is? I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you.
Sir, do you agree that it's okay to go in and break the windows at Gucci's or Macy's or Nike because it makes sure that that person eats and that person has clothes? That was my question to you. Is that ethically okay to you?
Answer the question.
Is it?
Okay. And before I answer that, I want to ask you this.
No. I didn't ask you to ask me a question. I asked you to answer the question. Don't be trying to answer a question with a question, because that right there, that's a deflection tactic. You're trying to do that to get me off of the initial point to the point where I forget that I asked you a question. Therefore, I don't demand the answer. Let's just stay on point.
Do you think it's okay that America
are you gonna answer my question?
kills people in their homes like Breonna Taylor?
No, I
and
don't
our
think that's okay.
politicians
Of
do
course I
not
don't
do
think that's
anything
okay.
about it.
No,
so
but
you
you
think
don't answer my question.
the officers that killed Breonna
I'm trying to
Taylor
have
should
a
be
conversation.
arrested?
No one
Do you
thinks
think that
that's
the officers that killed Breonna Taylor should be arrested?
That's why you have
They didn't have a
two-thirds of
warrant.
America who say
went
they
into her
support
home
Black
by
Lives Matter
mistake.
because they don't ever want to see
Breonna
police
Taylor,
brutality
they
in
went
this country.
into her home
Okay? But
by
you're not
mistake
answering my
and they
question, which is
murdered
whether or
her.
not it's okay
So
to
should
take
these
away people's
officers be
livelihoods
arrested?
because
Typical liberal.
you deserve the stuff that's in the broken window. Okay? There's two different issues here,
Well,
and I wish you had answered my question, which you said you would. But you didn't.
Do you think it's okay for a country to profit off the backs of slaves and to pay reparations?
Look, this man asked, like he interviewing her. It's like, sir, you on Fox News. I'm the anchor. You're not interviewing me, I'm interviewing you. You can't just disregard my questions, talk over me, and then ask me questions. This is not how this works, sir.
You're having a
To
circular
other
conversation.
Peoples and deny black people reparations.
You don't want to answer the
I
questions
need you to be
about
honest with me.
looting and stealing and broken
you want to
windows.
talk to me about...
Hopefully we can have another conversation. We can actually answer each other's questions. Thank you very much.
Had to hang up on him. Had to go. Had to get up out of there. All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, I don't blame her at all. I do not blame her for hanging up on the guy, for just letting them go, because at a certain point, it's like, all right, you're not answering the questions, you're evading the questions, now you're trying to interview me. It's like, well, I'm not a guest talking about anything you're talking about. I'm not some person that you could just have on your show. This is not the Hawk Newsome show, whatever his name is. This is Fox News. This is Martha MacCallum's segment. This is Martha MacCallum's hour, or whatever it is. I run the show, you don't. Simple as that. But this is what BLM does. This is what Antifa do. They will totally try to ignore your questions. They try to talk around you. And this is what some of the leftists in general do. Some of the far leftists. You got some regular normie leftists that aren't really into that don't even really get politically active, really. All they might do is simply say, okay, I like the left because I think they're good, or they're better with money, or something like that. They got a real basic understanding of politics. And that's probably the average American. And maybe a little bit more. If you're watching this video, you're a little bit read up and you understand. But most people don't have the time to really be into politics like that. But this guy over here had a little bit of time to read enough to be able to deflect a conversation. And Martha MacCallum was not having it. And shout out to her for not allowing that guy to just to do whatever he wants. But you know what? It pretty much illustrates what I was talking about these guys. They don't answer, they evade, they get belligerent, they get loud. That's just pretty much how they do. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Were you surprised at the method in which this guy went about conducting an interview? Well, you know, trying to be interviewed, but he ended up interviewing the interviewer. If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Do you think that most of the guys on the far left, the people that you see in the streets, rioting and looting and whatnot, think like him? You got, I think, two kinds of people that are out there generally. You might have a third kind, but that's a different story, a different video. Two basic kinds out there. You got the general moron who's just out there because they, you know, it's peer pressure or they're trying to steal something. General moron. Then you have guys like him that are kind of a moron, but at the same time a little bit red. They're red enough to still be a moron in their action, but at the same time have enough of an ability to support their moronism with some things that might be compelling to another moron. That's pretty much how it goes with guys like that. And that's pretty much my stance. And like I said, I want you to see this to understand what I go through all the time with these leftists. You know, when I'm on my show or in the comment section, this is how they are. This is no different than Twitter. This is no different than, you know, the YouTube's live. This is pretty much how they behave. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.